Now that the front is done, but the rear is still missing, I bought a bunch of parts such as new wheels, brake disc, brake caliper, front engine pulley, a T-drive, a custom rear pulley which fits on the T-drive, and some other parts such as some pillow blocks and some metal to hold it all together. But before I do that, I just wanted to give a massive thanks to my first 100 subscribers and welcome you all to the channel. Let me rearrange some parts to show you what my idea is for the rear end. And so I finally can make straight cuts. I bought myself a new tool. So let me unpack it and cut some things and tell you how it went. So let's see. I did my first cut and yeah, that looks pretty straight. Nice. Here's another view where you can see everything going on, and the reason why I have 4 pillow blocks instead of just 2 is because typically we drive on super bumpy tracks, and that helps to put less strain on the axle. It's less likely to bend. So now it's time to slowly tack it and then build it together, make sure everything is straight while I tack it and see how it fits in the end. So let's get to welding. After a little bit of measuring and moving things and fixing them with some magnets, I'm ready to weld, or tack at least, the 2 other bars. Now that I measured and marked and put the things in place, I'm ready to weld again. Let's just measure again if it's 39.2. Okay, I might take it a little bit more. Then just see how it fits. I mounted this professionally with zip ties and just have it roughly in place and be able to look at it without holding it. And the width with the wheel seems pretty good. It basically lines up with the fender. That's exactly what I wanted. Yes, the holes fit to the pillow block, however, I can't get it here, which is kind of expected. I need to do some trimming and cleaning up of the parts I have here. The brakes will look something like this, most likely on the other side, but there's plenty of space for it. So the next step is to take this off, finish welding it, since it's only tacked right now. Yesterday I mentioned that I would finish welding the frame. I realized I have a major issue. The issue I'm facing right now is that the T-drive in its current position is lower than this beam, which means that if I have this angle iron on either side of the T-drive, I won't be able to put the bolt in. However, good news is that the axle arrived, so I will modify the T-drive, install the axle, and then figure out that issue out when my brain cells are working. To prepare the T-drive, I have to do a couple of things. One thing is to make it fit for the top hat, which I will do by installing 2 bolts here and grinding down these a little bit. The other thing I need to do is change the axle. This is custom made to my specification, 25 millimeters. I think it will be good. Let me get started by grinding those down. Then I will take it apart, install the axle, put it all back together, put some oil, and be happy with it, hopefully. Now that I grinded down these tabs, I will check if the hub fits, and if it does, I will change the axle to the larger axle. So let's see. So the spots I did look good, but I still need to exchange the bolts. You can see this bolt here, and also on the other side is touching. But where I grinded it, I don't know if you can see it, it's clear. So that's great. And this is how it looks. I finally got the axle apart and I realized that there's missing a key slot on my axle, which means I either need to go to a guy who has a mill or I need to weld it, because otherwise this gear is just gonna keep on spinning on the shaft. Now I've got all the parts apart and now we'll try to reassemble it just to see how it looks on this axle. I've been contemplating how to solve this issue. So right now, as you can see, I can twist this, but the gear won't spin. And that is because there's no keyway made in here. Like the axle which was there before, there was a keyway. So the solution is, of course, to make a keyway. I don't have the machinery which can do that. I have an angle grinder and a drill. And most likely I would ruin the axle before I make a proper keyway. The other option is, of course, to weld it. Well, knowing my welds, it's probably not gonna last. And I don't want to ruin this. And also because there's a sleeve here. And this is a perfect spacer for this, which means that I don't have the space to make a good weld in there. So what I came up with is I called a guy. However, he can't make keyways. For now, I will just put it back together. And then on Monday, I will go to him and then I will show him, and maybe he knows a guy or something. So it's probably gonna be a two-parter because of this. And also because this video is already coming out later than I hoped for. So let me slap this back together and then figure out my other issue. Yeah. 36.5. So it's actually also kind of in the center. I could use those to keep them in the center, but right now it doesn't really matter if it's a centimeter off. So next step is to see how it all aligns over there. I hope it's gonna work. Probably not, we will see. So we're back at the welding table. So let's get the pillow blocks on it. See how everything fits. So the next thing I need to do is take this angle iron right there and then cut two pieces out like this. Find the center, drill two holes from the center out, so this one is in the center. So what I did is cut two pieces of angle iron, drill some holes, and I hope the camera is picking it up. On this side, there's actually slots right here. When I want to demount it, I don't have to get the bolt all the way out. I just need to get it out of this side, and then I can lift it up through those slots with the bolt still in the T-drive. On this side, I only drilled holes without making slots. And the reason is that if I have a belt here, and it's pulling that way, in the direction of the engine, then it's trying to lift up the drive here. So it's better to keep the metal here so it doesn't get loose in any bumps or situations. I'm happy with how everything is aligned. However, this one is hitting something internally. So I definitely need to make a little bit more clearance. So for that I will take this off, and while I have it off, I will keep on welding everything. So here we are on the back of the mower. I finished welding the frame, prepared all the parts, as well as the axle, which is now freely spinning without binding up. I also cut out some parts. I know this looks quite terrible, structural wise, but this will give a lot of rigidity. So I'm not too worried about that. And I had to make space for those ball bearings. So that's what I did. First I will assemble it here, and then I will put it back together. So it doesn't need to be super tight, to be honest. like I will have to take it apart before driving it. Let me just show you some of the issues and challenges I have to consider right now. So this is the top of the pulley. When I put the seat down, you can see it's not gonna be hitting the rubber stud. There's roughly 2 or 3 centimeters gap, which means the seat will be slightly higher. On top of that, I need to consider how to mount it. This plate I can drill some holes through and then put some bolts through like this and hold it on this end, so that's fairly simple. But on this side over here, this plate is quite warped. I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but what I'm considering is to cut this out, put an angle iron here, weld it to this frame, and then put some bolts through. But on the other side, it's actually turning out quite nice. Quite beef, super sturdy. It's probably a bit too heavy. After some consideration, I figured out what I want to do. So we'll start by cutting some angle iron, then see how it fits over here. And then I will take this off, drill the holes, and put it back on. And hopefully everything fits. I got everything prepared, cut the plates, drilled some holes, now it's getting it back in position, and see if I can fasten this side and then weld this plate. Next up, I will disconnect the battery and then I will make sure that this line is parallel to this line, because that will mean that my pulley is parallel to the engine pulley. Every time you weld, make sure no battery is connected, because you will ruin your battery. Trust me, don't ask how I know. I'm using a bubble level app where I can see the amount of degrees. And I will place this in the middle of the room, because I know this is flat, 0, 0, which is in this direction, and then minus 7.4 in this direction. So what I need to do is place it here somehow, and it says 0, 0, 6, minus 6.4. So if I try it a little bit down, then it would be level. Just to give you a close-up on how it looks, you can see this is the app which is showing 7.4 or minus 7.4, and over here you can see I wedged the hammer in together with the spanner, and now I'm gonna weld this plate over here so it's nice and tight, and then I should have the same angle. I will start with welding this side and then I will go over to the other side. This seems fine. So I will just give it a little tag. I did a thing. I finally got the rear axle installed. There's still some things I need to figure out. I would have liked to show you how it would look with the wheels. However, the rims get some rubbers on them right now. overall it looks quite good. Here you can see it from the side. And this is actually roughly the height of the rear, so it's gonna have a little bit of lean forward. But this is actually wanted, since then it puts more pressure on the front wheels, which makes it easier to steer. And right now I did some quick calculations, it's at 4.5% when the wheels are on. But with that, thank you so much for watching, and in the next episode we're gonna continue the work on the rear, put the wheels on, belt, brake. It might not be fully ready for the drive, but I think we can start it and see some wheels spinning on the stand. Before I drive it, there is some other kinks I need to address, but that will come in the future. If you're not subscribed and watched to the end, maybe consider subscribing. I would appreciate it a lot. So see you in the next episode. Bye!